Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Thursday, August 14th. Key points we're going to focus on today. We're looking at another day of critical fire weather conditions out there. We do a red flag warning in effect for much of central and eastern Idaho. That'll run from noon until 10 o'clock today, due to a combination of gusty winds, low relative humidity, and isolated thunderstorms, leading to those elevated to critical fire weather conditions. Daily shower and thunderstorm activity will continue through the weekend. We'll see that mostly in the mountains, generally isolated to scattered coverage, but can rely on some isolated activity each day out across the Snake River Plain. Stronger storms, as we saw out there yesterday, were certainly capable of producing those gusty outflow winds. Up to about 55 miles an hour will be possible each day. But outside of that, highs in those 80s and 90s. Continuing into next week, we did see some record heat yesterday up at Idaho Falls. But overall, a bit cooler today, near normal to above normal temperatures. Will continue as we round out the middle part of August. And taking a quick look at satellite imagery for you this morning, shortwave trough lifting northeast out of the Great Basin. How about disperse some isolated showers and storms early this morning and a slight uptick in cloud cover. But the main activity for today will be centered around this afternoon into the early evening hours. And to look at the bigger picture for you guys, so there's that shortwave trough lifting northeast out of Nevada and Utah. That'll be the main driver for shower and thunderstorm activity today. As you can see, a very well-pronounced trough and atmospheric river to our northwest. Won't be tapping into the bulk of that moisture. That looks to stay in the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia, but we will get sufficient moisture building in to at least keep some isolated showers and storms around heading into the weekend, seeing an expansion in coverage during that time frame. And your weather risk outlook for the next 5 days. Just some isolated thunderstorms out there today, a mix of low relative humidity and breezy winds leading to those critical fire weather conditions. But for tomorrow, winds drop off a bit, but we still keep around some isolated thunderstorms, primarily in the Snake River Plain, southeast down towards the Utah-Wyoming state lines, before an expansion in coverage for Saturday and Sunday, with dry conditions back starting Monday under the increasing influence of high pressure. And here's a look at the wind gusts we saw out there yesterday. Strongest winds, generally from showers, thunderstorms, and outflow boundaries, were between about 40 to 60 miles an hour across the board. And here's a look at our watches, warnings, and advisories currently in effect. That red flag warning is going to be in effect for everywhere outside of the Magic Valley up into the Wood River and Sawtooth Valleys, but everywhere else expecting those critical fire weather conditions, but certainly elevated as well as you head further west. And high temperatures and relative humidity for today, we're looking at highs again in those 80s and 90s, about 3 to 6 degrees cooler than we were yesterday, but relative humidity still very dry, mostly in those teens. And wind gusts and thunderstorm chances for today, we'll see gusts up to about 30 miles an hour outside of thunderstorms, with best chances for storms remaining focused further south and east, a little bit more isolated as you head further northwest into the central mountains. And from the Storm Prediction Center today, again, highlighting much of our area and just a general thunderstorm outlook. As you can see there on the HREF model, probability of thunder, really highlighting as you head into the mountains south and east of the Snake River Plain, less than about a 10% chance as you head up into the western central mountains. But breaking down the timing for you today, outside of some isolated showers and storms this morning, we'll see activity kick off between about 12 and 3 o'clock. Two main corridors for today in similar fashion to yesterday, one in the Montana Divide and another along the South Hills east into the Southeast Highlands. That'll continue as we head through this evening. Overall, main focus will shift to being further south and east by around sunset as activity diminishes heading into early tomorrow morning. And for your Friday, we'll cool off another few degrees as we finish out the work week. Overnight lows there in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, highs in the 80s and 90s. And for Friday, we'll keep those best chances for showers and storms in the mountains, generally as you head further south and east, with some very isolated activity possible further north. Wind gusts dropping off a bit as well, gusts maybe up to about 30 miles an hour. And for Friday from the Storm Prediction Center, again, highlighting much of our southeastern areas for your Friday. Best chances there in the HREF model, probability of thunder, do look like they should stay south and east of the Snake River Plain. And for Saturday, we'll keep temperatures fairly steady as we head into the weekend. Highs still hanging out in those 80s and 90s. And we will see an expansion in thunderstorm coverage for this weekend, fairly isolated in nature, possibly a bit more scattered across our higher elevations, but we'll keep that trend going through the weekend. Best coverage is looking like it should be on Sunday. And speaking of Sunday, looks like it should be one of the cooler days of the week, if not the coolest, heading into early next week. So highs dropping back mostly into the 70s and 80s, struggling to hit 90 here in eastern Idaho. But thunderstorm chances do see an increase. That'll help cool us down a bit as we finish out the weekend, generally isolated to scattered coverage region-wide with light winds outside of any thunderstorms. And for your Monday, we will dry things out as we start the work week next week. 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s in the morning. Afternoon highs back in those 80s and 90s. And to look at what's to come, high confidence supports above normal temperatures here in the Rockies. That'll be continuing through August 19th through the 23rd. So it looks like that high pressure increasing influence will lead to some warmer temperatures, certainly as we head into next week. And with respect to precipitation, it looks like the monsoonal moisture axis will shift further southeast of our area, so below normal favorite across the Pacific Northwest into the Gem State. 8 to 14 shows little change there in temperatures. Looks like it should be a hot finish as we head out the month of August. And with respect to precipitation, that monsoonal moisture axis does start to shift a bit northwest during that 8 to 14 day period, but we'll still be contending with a ridge of high pressure, so exactly where that sets up may see some isolated activity return towards middle and later parts of next week, but certainly starting off the week next week fairly dry. And that's about all I have for you this morning. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Have an awesome Thursday.